News just coming in this afternoon. The Minister of Finance, Gordhan, has filed his replies to Oakbay's affidavit. Gordhan argues that Oakbay's reasons to oppose affidavit don't hold. Gordhan says Oakbay concedes on the main legal point. Gordhan also says the separation of powers argument used by Oakbay untenable. It is the exclusive remit of the courts to determine issues of legality. Gordhan goes on to say the FIC certificate has got no bearing on the relief sought. This is breaking news coming in with regards to the Minister of Finance, Gordhan, responding to the issue of Oakbay. The Minister has filed replies to Oakbay's affidavit. Gordhan argues that Oakbay's reasons to oppose that affidavit don't hold. Gordhan also says Oakbay concedes on the main legal point, the separation of powers argument used by Oakbay untenable. It is the exclusive remit of the courts to determine issues of legality. Gordhan goes on to say that the FIC certificate has got no bearing on the relief sought. This is breaking news coming in this afternoon. Stay tuned to ANN7. We will keep you up to date. Now, joining us to discuss this further and give some further details is Cecilia Russell, ANN7 editor on special projects. Good afternoon to you, Cecilia. So what are the main points of objections that the Minister of Finance has raised in this affidavit?
All right, this is a replying affidavit to the Oakbay one of a week ago, and I think the main points that you've pointed out, that it's the preserve of the court to settle a question of law. So one of the main contentions of the Oakbay affidavit was to say that in actual fact, by the courts intervening in this relationship, or the courts intervening here, it will mean that there would be no longer an opportunity for people to sort of canvass members of the executive, and for any sort of, they put it, weak-kneed member of the executive who did not want to make a decision could then run to the courts and say this is not our preserve. So what Gordhan seems to be saying, the Finance Minister seems to be saying, is that in fact it's very important that the court settles this question of law, because it may then define what an executive can and may not be able to do, because they may be forced to make decisions around client-bank relationships in the future, or any other relationships that may be uncomfortable for them. Unlike with the Oakbay affidavit, which the Oakbay affidavit argues quite clearly that in fact the court shouldn't have jurisdiction here, because it would interfere in the separation of powers. He is saying that it is important that the court comes into play.
Cecilia, with regards to this entire process, where exactly are we, and how do we see the Minister's comments or opinions and statements affecting this entire process?
All right. This is in terms of that. This is a replying affidavit. Obviously, Gordhan instituted the whole matter last year, and Oakbay has responded. And now this is the response to Oakbay's response. All of this obviously goes to court, and then in court they will argue various matters of law around whether the executive should or not necessarily whether the executive should or should not interfere with the client bank relationship, but what are the powers and functions of the executive, and when should they intervene and when should they not intervene? I think that will probably be the main points of the argument. There are a couple of other things that are kind of, as I said, we've only just got this report, so we're still going through it. There are a couple of other things that have kind of emerged from Mr. Gordhan's affidavit, and one of them is, if you remember correctly, the Oakbay said that he was. It seemed as though he was running a political campaign against the family, and I think he responds saying that he did not believe that he was acting with mala fide, which means that he did not believe that he was acting as as against Oakbay, which I think we'll discuss later as we get into the detail. The other thing that Gordhan seems to indicate that in terms of this. Some of the findings, he goes into Optimum Mining Rehab Fund, and he says that there were detailed adverse findings by the Public Protector. But we know that, in fact, the Public Protector did not make adverse findings. She actually recommended that there should be a commission of inquiry to look at various allegations. So that has kind of emerged in the minister's affidavit.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. Let's leave things there for now. We will be checking in with you throughout the afternoon for further details. ANN7 editor Cecilia Russell just joining us on the phone line to give us some comment around the Minister of Finance, Gordhan, filing his replies to the Oakbay affidavit. Stay tuned to ANN7. We'll keep you up to date with regards to further developments here.